Hey everyone, and welcome to Stryder Hearthstone. So this is another part in my Reddit coaching series where I'm watching Redditor DaCooky here, who is a 7k MMR player. I'm going to spectate his game and add my commentary of what I would have done differently. I think Deck Swabby was a good pickup here on turn 1. With this new hero, if you can find a Deck Swabby or a token generator, on your second turn you can tier up and still buy a minion.
Some fresh recruits for you. I think you can win this thing. Your minion. I'll clean up.
So far so good. I think he's making all the right moves here.
You're doing great out there. Oh, it's okay. We all hit some bumps now and then.
So he's being really greedy here and going for a tier 5 drop, which I think was the right move here. This is definitely a hero where you really want to capitalize on getting to those higher tiers as fast as you can.
Battle, pick yourself back up and turn it around. I didn't like that one either. Here's a gold for the trouble. Hey, a triple. Here's your reward.
I think out of these 3 choices, Lightfang was the right pick here.
Harness your rage. I think you can win this thing. Minions really pulled their weight.
So I don't think I actually would have bought the 2/8 Taunt Pirate here. It's an alright tier 3 minion, but we're on tier 4 now and hopefully we can find something better. Plus with the Lightfang on board, our board's pretty empty and we already have one pirate, so I think I would have leaned into that a little bit more and tried to diversify our board. Here I would have picked up the Rat Pack instead, just to have that be a beast that gets boosted by Lightfang. It's not the best beast, but it's an alright one that we can use for now while we find something better.
A good tactical choice.
If we didn't buy the Rat Pack and we still had gold left over, the Savannah Highmane here would have been an awesome addition to our board.
You're doing great out there. Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure. That's what I would have picked. I'd be taking that.
Since we're pretty committed to pirates now instead of Menagerie, I think instead I would just sold the Lightfang anyways and kept the crown favorite, which would have been a 7/7.
You're doing great out there. minion will get you a triple. You're down a minion and up a goal. It's not the strongest, but it'll fight hard. Gonna need a bigger boat.
Ha! You want a tussle?
I don't think I would have froze the board here for the 6-7 Windfree Pirate. I think there's other ones that we still need that are more important, like Captain Hogger. In terms of positioning, overall it's not too bad. The only things I would have done differently is I would have put the 6-5 Deck Swabby as my first attacker instead, and I would have put my Murloc beside the Taunt in case they had a cleave.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
I think going up to tier 6 was a little bit aggressive at this point, just because we're down to 14 HP. If we lose a single fight, we could be killed. Plus our board isn't super strong right now, and we're fighting Pyramid, who probably has some very high HP minions. Since Pyramid is playing all Murlocs here and he's only on tier 4, it's unlikely for him to have an Amalgadon, so I would probably have just put the Nat Peggle as my first attacker. The 6-7 is unlikely to actually be able to overkill anything as the first attacker. I think I would have put him as a second or third attacker instead, even though that gives us less value if he does overkill, but increases the chances that he will overkill something.
You're doing great out there.
So we got super lucky and got the double boat off the coilers. That helped us win this fight, but otherwise that was a fight that we probably should have lost.
You're good at this. Go ahead and hire one of these recruits.
So the Amalgadon was the right pick here, but how I would have executed this would have been different. In order to maximize the adaptations of the Amalgadon to increase the chances of getting Divine Shield and Poison, I would have sold the 6-7 Pirate, the 12-9 Pirate, and the 6-5 Pirate, opening up 3 spaces on my board, and then I would have played the Murloc, played the 2-5 Mech, and then played the Amalgadon.
I didn't like that one either. Here's a goal for the trouble.
So I think the Zap was a good pickup here because remember Yogg got the Golden Wax Rider really early on. Since he only has 5 dragons, it's very likely that he's still holding on to that Wax Rider, so we definitely want to snipe that.
I think you can win this thing.
Honestly, I think at this point I would have picked up the brand just for the off chance that we can find some more Amalgadons. That's a really strong combo. We kind of have a pirate board going, but we're still missing a lot of the key pieces like Dread Admiral Eliza and Captain Hoggers, so we're not going to be able to build a super strong pirate board until we find those, whereas if we get the brand, we could maybe shift towards a Menagerie board and scale it up really quickly with the Amalgadon. So I don't think I would have bought the Rip Snarl Captain here. It's a little bit too late in the game to be buying him. And we're on tier 6. We really shouldn't be spending 3 gold to buy those 2/2/1/1 buffs. So I went to Frozen the board here for the 6/7 Windfairy Pirate. But in general, I don't think we should be chasing triples at the moment because they're more unlikely, and our board's not super strong at the moment, so I think our gold is more efficiently spent looking for those cards that make our board way stronger, such as adding poison to the Amalgadon, finding more Amalgadons, or finding a Dread Admiral Eliza.
That's quite the army you're building, friend. Go ahead and hire one of these recruits.
Since we're fighting Jandis here and she's going Pogos, there's a reasonable chance that she has a 2/4 Divine Shield on her Pogo, which we'll need to kill. So I would have put the 6/7 Windfairy Pirate as my first attacker to try and break that Divine Shield and have my Malgadon be my second attacker.
I think you can win this thing. Minions really pulled their weight. A good tactical choice.
The Menagerie Jug, on the other hand, I think is still worth it even on tier 6, as long as you can utilize the full +6/+6 in buffs. I would have sold the 6/7 Windfairy Pirate, I know I've said that like 6 times this game, and played the Captain Hogger before buying that Dread Admiral Eliza. I think the Tide Raiser is a really good card in the mid game, while it can still trade evenly with the enemy, but it's not really a late game card that you want to have on your board, because spawning 3 unbuffed pirates really isn't going to do anything against someone like a Jandis with a 40/40 Pogo.
Keep up the momentum, friend.
definitely would not have sold the Nat Piggle in exchange for the Captain Hogger. I would have sold the boat instead.
That one might make all the difference.
So it's a little late in the game to start doing this, but as soon as we found that second Hogger, I would have sold the Coiler and sold the Gripstyle Captain so that I can have both Hoggers on the board and one empty spot available to cycle Pirates, and then I would have started cycling Pirates as fast as I could.
Nice work out there. Keep up the pressure. It's good to get some minions.
So now that Yogg has 6 dragons on the board, it's very likely that he has a Nadina and he no longer has a Wax Rider, and there's really nothing left on the board that we can really snipe with the Zap.
Go ahead and hire one of these recruits.
So I think the biggest takeaway for DaCooky for this game is to just be able to find an endgame for your board. So we've been on tier 6 for a lot of turns now, but other than our salty leader gradually growing a bit stronger, our board really hasn't improved much for the amount of time we spent on tier 6. I think there's 2 directions we could have gone with this to get an endgame level board. We could have found the Captain Hoggers and just played APM Pirates and tried to cycle Pirates as fast as we could, building up those salty leaders and trying to find more salty leaders and more buffs for our board. Or we could have picked up that brand and cycled buff cards, cycled Mirazons, cycled Primal Fin Lookouts, and built a really strong Menagerie board. So I think one thing for DaCooky to keep in mind here is that minions such as the boat and the Coiler are really good in the mid game when they can really efficiently trade with minions one-on-one. But in the late game, when you're fighting against players with a full Caligos Nadina Dragon board, the Coiler and the boat are really kind of useless and they're not going to help you kill anything. So overall, I think DaCooky made a lot of correct moves throughout this game. There's just a couple things to keep in mind and to work on.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button down below, and if you want to see new videos being uploaded every week, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications.